Welcome to the online captains meetings for Intramural Basketball Spring 2014. We are using these online captains meetings as a replacement of our in-person captains meetings that we have held in the past. It is required before you create a team to watch this video and take a short quiz following the video to create a team. This method of captains meetings will be used throughout the spring semester for most leagues and tournaments. To begin, let's refresh the UNK intramural policies. All participants do participate in intramurals at their own risk. Any costs incurred due to injury while participating in intramurals will be the responsibility of the injured party. As well as lost and stolen items, intramural staff does not assume any responsibility for items that are damaged, lost, or stolen during intramural activity. As for payment, we are continuing the $20 individual semester fee for this semester, so this fee is required to be paid before any intramural participation will be granted. You can pay in two ways. You can pay in Cushing Office 112 with cash or check, or you can pay online with your debit or credit card at unk.edu/intramurals. On the right-hand side of that screen, there will be a register/online payment button you can click on. Just click on that, and it'll take you through all the necessary steps to pay with your debit or credit card. And as for one-day events for this semester, one-day events that will be offered in the 2014 semester will be free. So this $20 payment will only apply to those who are planning on playing in a league or tournament. Anybody participating in one-day events will not have to pay the fee. It will be free of charge. So $20 semester fee for tournaments and leagues. One-day events will be free for the 2014 semester. To be considered eligible to participate in the basketball league this semester, one must first complete the $20 semester payment fee that we just discussed, provide a valid UNK ID to an official or supervisor prior to game time. If you do not have your UNK ID, you will not be allowed to play. You must be on the roster by 2 p.m. the day of your game. And once a player participates with one team, only extreme circumstances will allow them to leave that team and be added to another. And also, you can only participate on one team per league. Now let's go into the details of defaults and forfeits. If your team is unable to meet all eligibility requirements, you must contact the intramural office by 2 p.m. on the day of your game to receive a default. Teams will not make it into the playoffs if they have a sportsmanship rating less than 2.5 average for the season, or they have 2 forfeits. To explain that a little bit further, 2 defaults will equal 1 forfeit, and 2 forfeits or 3 defaults will result in removal from the league. All basketball games will be played and located in Health and Sports Arena and Hyper Gym. Participants must check in at the scores table of their assigned court before your scheduled game time in order to play. That is where you'll present your UNK ID. Captains meetings will be conducted by an official 5 minutes prior to the scheduled start game time. A forfeit will be issued to a team if a team is not ready to play 5 minutes after their scheduled game time. NSAA rules will govern play except for the University of Nebraska at Kearney intramural sport rule modifications. The games will consist of 4 7-minute periods. Teams will be granted 3 timeouts per game of 30 seconds. All timeouts must be called by a player on the court as well. Bench personnel will not be granted timeouts if requested. A 2 to 4 minute break will be granted for halftime. The clock will stop on all whistles, except if a team is ahead by 15 or more points in the 4th period, the clock will not stop. If a team is ahead by 30 points at any point in the second half, the game will be called, and 1 2-minute overtime period will be played in case of a tie at the end of 4 quarters. During this overtime, clock will stop on all whistles, and teams will be granted 1 timeout. Unused timeouts from regulation will not be carried over into the overtime period. To continue on to some more game rules, a team must have 4 eligible players that are on the roster to begin and finish a game. The score sheets will serve as the official score. Scoreboards will be used as a supplement to the score sheet. The officials and supervisors may correct any scoring error at any time when it is noticed or brought to their attention with definite knowledge by a game official. Each player will be granted 5 fouls. After the 5th foul, the player is disqualified from that contest. 1-and-1 free throws will take place after the 16th foul, and bonus free throws will occur on the 10th team foul and every foul thereafter. Every personal foul or technical will count towards a player's disqualification in total number of team fouls per half. A minimum of 4 eligible players on the roster to start a game and finish a game will still apply to co-rec. 2 members of each gender must be represented at all times. You can either have 3 men and 2 women or 3 women and 2 men. All field goals made by a female will be worth 1 extra point. This excludes free throws. If a female shooter is fouled, she will receive 3 or 4 free throws depending on the location of her release, which will be decided by the game official. If a female shooter is fouled and the basket counts, only 1 additional free throw will be awarded. During co-rec, there will be no restrictions on where males can be on the floor. Some specific rules to our intramural basketball league will include no dunking or hanging on the rim. Any player doing so will be charged with a technical foul and be ejected from the game immediately. If the basket is made, the basket will not count, and dunking during warm-ups will result in a technical foul on the offending team to start out that game. For technical fouls, free throws will not be shot. 2 points in the possession of the ball at half court will be given to the offended team. Substitutions. All players wanting to enter the game must check in at the scorer's table. Players must wait at the scorer's table and be beckoned onto the court by an official. During multiple free throw attempts, the player will not be allowed in the game until after the first free throw has been attempted. If more than 2 free throws are being attempted, subs will enter before the last free throw attempt. As for uniforms, all players must provide their own jersey. Jerseys must be the same color throughout the team. Bring an extra white jersey to every game just in case you play a team with the same color. No tape will be allowed for numbers. Numbers must be clearly visible on the front or back of your jersey. No jewelry will be allowed. It must be removed before you can play. No hard braces or casts. If you do have a hard brace or cast, intramural supervisors or officials will check those before you'll be allowed to enter the game. If a player is caught wearing illegal equipment, the offending team will be charged with a timeout and the equipment must be removed before that player can return to play. If other illegal equipment is found, a technical foul will be assessed to the offending player. Team captains are responsible for communicating playing dates, times, and locations to teammates. All this information can be found on imleagues.com. Maintain control of your team and fans. We expect you to do so by leading by example. Be aware of eligibility rules, ejection policy, and the forfeit policy. All current UNK students, faculty, and staff are eligible to participate in intramurals. To be considered a student, all you must do is take at least 1 credit hour in the current semester. Any person lettering from a 4-year institution will not be eligible to participate in related intramural events during that same academic year. This includes transfer students. So if you have a person on your team that has participated in collegiate basketball during this academic year, they will not be eligible to play. Use of an ineligible player will result in forfeiture of all games, removal of team from competition, and further disciplinary action from the UNK intramural staff. We also would like you to assist staff in the event of accidents or injuries and communicate any issues that you have or any feedback that you have to the intramural staff. Leagues that you will have the option to sign up for will include Co-Rec A, Co-Rec B, Men's A, Men's B, Men's Recreational, Women's A, and Women's B. Men's Recreational is a new league this semester and is aimed towards the participants who clearly just want to play basketball and have fun. UNK Intramurals reserves the right to move teams if we feel the level of competition of any team is unfit for their league choice. This means either bumping teams up a league or bumping them down a league. And since we have switched to this online captains meeting method, we are relying on team captains to be responsible for informing officials or scorekeepers at check-in of their first game where they would like participation points to go. As for playoff meetings, we will have to hold in-person captains meetings for playoffs to allow teams to pick bracketing positions. These meetings will be announced at a later date. If you need to get a hold of the intramural program anytime throughout the semester, please feel free to do so. You can contact graduate assistants Courtney Spahn or Connor Singheisen, and you can contact them in Cushing Office 112 by calling 308-865-8676 or emailing them at unkintramurals@unk.edu. The intramural program will mainly communicate to you, our participants, through imleagues.com and announcements and Facebook. All right, that concludes our first online captains meeting. Now it's going to continue on to a short quiz. You must receive an 80% on this quiz to create a team. This just verifies to us that you are knowledgeable of all the rules that we just covered for intramural basketball and all the policies and procedures that we will be enforcing. So continue on to this short quiz and create your team. If you have any troubles, please contact us, refer yourself back to that previous slide with all of our contact information, and let us know.